in Long Beach at the Health Freedom Expo 2013 with Jeffrey Smith. You are a hero in many people's eyes. You're saving all kinds of lives just by helping people know where to go for non-GMO foods. How can we help send people the right direction, know who you are? Who are you? What is it that you do?
Well, I've been studying and reporting on the health dangers of genetically engineered foods since 1996. And I also have been interviewing doctors and scientists and translating their concerns in language that everyone can understand. So we have looked at the laboratory animals, and like the American Academy of Environmental Medicine said, they found the animals that are fed GMOs had reproductive disorders, immune system problems, accelerated aging, organ damage, gastrointestinal problems, and dysfunctional regulation of cholesterol and insulin. Then we interview the doctors who are prescribing non-GMO diets, and there's thousands of them, and they talk about their patients getting better from these same diseases and disorders. And then we talk to the patients and solicit general information from consumers, and they too confirm what the doctors are describing. Then we talk to farmers and veterinarians who have taken livestock off of GM soy and corn and substituted non-GM soy and corn, and they too are getting better from these same diseases and disorders, which are on the rise in the US population since GMOs were introduced. And then we look at the structure and nature of the genetically modified crops, like the Bt toxin corn, which produces its own insect-killing toxin, or the Roundup Ready soybeans, which absorb Roundup, which we eat. If we look at the characteristics of those poisons, they predispose to create these same diseases and disorders: gastrointestinal, organ damage, immune system problems, reproductive, etc. So that's what we're doing.
When I first started my journey of getting educated about GMOs, when I found out about the soy oil and the high fructose corn syrup and stuff, I started looking to see where can I go to eat without running into that. And I found out that just about every single restaurant out there, they're frying their foods in genetically modified soy oil. All the fried meats out there.
Yep.
You know.
So what I do is I help people because we avoid GMOs, and then actually we convince people. If you go to responsibletechnology.org, you learn why to avoid GMOs, or watch the new movie Genetic Roulette, The Gamble of Our Lives.
Genetic Roulette, really good.
It changes people's diets before the credits roll generally. Then people want to avoid GMOs. So we have non-gmo-shoppingguide.com, also a free iPhone application called Shop No GMO. And
Shop No GMO, that is a beautiful app. We want definitely people to check out the App Store on that one, Shop No GMO.
And it has over 7,500 verified non-GMO items. It also gives tips by organic, by products that are labeled non-GMO, by products listed in the shopping guide, and it then also lists the at-risk ingredients to avoid. If you don't have an organic or non-GMO label, you can still become non-GMO by avoiding the soy, corn, cotton, canola, sugar beets, zucchini, crookneck squash, and papaya from Hawaii or China, or animals that are eating those or eating the genetically modified alfalfa.
It's not just the stuff that they're cooking our food in, it's what they're feeding the animals, and you have the most comprehensive education, the Genetic Roulette and other films that you're producing and getting out there to enhance awareness. I really believe that that's our best defense in the war against disease that we're all in, is education.
Well, it's our best defense in two levels. It's an individual level of defense, and I talk to hundreds of people who describe how their health is improved when they eliminate GMOs. And the stories are dramatic. And we're the only organization collecting those stories, and it's frustrating just how dramatic it is. We want everyone to know. But the second level is, we think as little as 5% of US shoppers avoiding GM ingredients would create a tipping point of consumer rejection, which is how GMOs were kicked out of Europe. Because people knew about GMOs because the mainstream media was reporting about the dangers, and there was a very rapid escalation of concern in 1999. It was basically an avalanche of companies committing to stop using GM ingredients in Europe. So we see early signs of a tipping point again of consumer rejection in the United States, and so we don't think it's very long now. More and more people avoiding GMOs, more people prescribing non-GMO diets. We will see a tipping point, and that's so eating non-GMO is also an activist action.
You were on the panel committee yesterday. That's one of the things you mentioned. I wish my sister was there. She's one of the people who donated for Prop 37. And they called her again for another donation after they lost, and she said, I'm not going to give you guys any more money until you can gather enough people, help unify people, because we lost. And we need to get people together unified, and until then it's never going to do any good. And so what you're saying is we've almost actually reached that tipping point, and all the money that they've dumped in, millions of dollars to mislead people and lie throughout that campaign, that's actually put more fuel on our fire. The people who are educated are outraged when we brought out all that truth. So we're almost to the tipping point. This actually gives us even more hope than ever before. I like that.
And in fact, we would welcome donations, now that you mentioned donations. And here's what we do with it. We are doing special outreach to the most receptive demographic groups, those who would be most willing to change their diet when they learn the truth. And that's health-conscious shoppers, parents of young children, patients who are suffering from a variety of diseases that may be related to GMOs, progressive healthcare practitioners, and they're now really taking up the message, and certain religious people that think GMO means God move over. So we are doing outreach to those. We also are getting our film out into a dozen languages around the world, Genetic Roulette, the gamble of our lives. And we're also producing brochures and materials so that all of the activists now, which have become active, particularly in the last 3 or 4 years, have effective behavior change messaging to drive the tipping point.
Beautiful. Beautiful messages. So where can we tell people where to go?
Responsibletechnology.org is our nonprofit website for the Institute for Responsible Technology. And then to watch the film, Genetic Roulette, The Gamble of Our Lives, go to geneticroulettemovie.com. To avoid GMOs, go to non-gmo-shoppingguide.com. And you can also download the iPhone application, Shop No GMO.
Beautiful, Jeffrey. Awesome. Everybody, check out his website and say no to GMO.